Our next guests are here to talk about staging. Please welcome Realtor for Century 21, Steve Pletz, and his guest, the owner of Show Homes San Diego, Lisa Gulliver.
And he's back. Mr. Pletz, what's going on, my friend?
Not much. Another beautiful day here in San Diego. Nice to get done with the rain. Yeah.
And you brought Lisa Gulliver today.
I did. Lisa with Show Homes.
Show Homes. And you've probably seen their ads. If you've been looking for a place to rent on Craigslist, you've probably seen the home manager option going around there. We're going to talk about that today.
Great.
You guys also have a one-day makeover, which is an interesting thing that you guys do. But Steve, from a more macro perspective, tell us why you think that what they do in staging is so important.
Well, I guess there's a variety of different reasons that I would say it works. Number one is residential real estate is bought and sold on emotion, is that people make decisions based on how spaces make them feel. As much as we would all like to think that it's price per square foot and it's look at comps and it's appraisal issues, et cetera, most people that are purchasing a primary residence are thinking less about those items and more about, can I raise my family here? Can I have my mom live in this downstairs bedroom? Those kinds of things. And sometimes the spaces are very specific to us, as homeowners, versus a more general and allowing the spaces to be seen as they more properly should. And that's where the staging really comes in. Okay. I've seen it numerous times, and I have many examples where someone has tried to sell a house unstaged, and then we've come in and staged the property and been able to move it quickly and for a higher price. And it has nothing to do with, oh, that I'm such a great realtor. It has to do with the staging, in my opinion, that people see that and think, I can see myself here now. Mm-hmm. Where before, it's just a big empty house.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if I could jump in here,
please.
Steve and I have done a lot of work together. I don't know if you know this, we've staged close to 50 homes together.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And, what we're really doing is selling a lifestyle. We want the buyer to walk in and see themselves live there and see the potential of the property. If the home isn't staged, it's hard for them to start thinking about where is my couch going and how am I, how's everything going to fit. But we're basically portraying a lifestyle or portraying how great the property can look, what's its maximum potential, and how they're going to live there. And they can see themselves there. And typically you're going to get a higher offer. It's going to sell faster because people get more excited about the property and they do have that emotional connection to the property.
Yeah, and I've heard people say before that people buy real estate on emotion, but I think the way Steve described it was perfect. It's not just an emotion, it's about how the property makes you feel. Mm-hmm. Which is an emotion, but how does it make you feel? I think that's a better explanation, because if you walk in and it feels like home, or it feels like a place that you would want to live, and you're like, wow, can you imagine if we could live in this place?
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to get someone juiced up to write an offer. Yep. You know what I mean? That'll get them excited. And I think that's really, really important. So it's been proven many times, you can Google this if you want to, that staged homes sell for more. In a lot of cases, dramatically more. But overall, they sell for more. And it's worth it. It's been proven. So we don't have to sit here and have a discussion about whether it's worth it or not. Like the math's done. Yeah. But it's really a matter of how good of a job you're going to do in that situation. You guys have several things that you do that are really unique. So tell us about the one-day makeover. What is that?
Yeah, so the one-day home makeover is where in an owner-occupied property, people get used to seeing their stuff every day, right? And it's hard for them to get an outside perspective of what a buyer's going to see when they walk in the door. So we're there to help them with that perspective. So we'll go in and give them suggestions on how to declutter, how to depersonalize, how to move the furniture around to make the room look as big as possible and look as comfy as possible. And then they go away for the day. I bring my team in. We move all the furniture around. We rehang the artwork. We make every room look as good as possible. And then we bring in the lipstick. So we bring in art, accessories, plants, things to decorate the home and put that lipstick on the property so that it's going to be gorgeous. By the end of the day, the homeowner walks back into the property, it's a whole new home.
So
and now they're
putting... Someone goes to work in the morning,
yeah.
You guys are there all day, they came home at night, it's a totally different place.
Totally different place, yeah. And we've had many homeowners walk in and say, oh my gosh, now I don't want to sell. Yeah, it looks so great.
Yeah, why didn't I do this? All right, I'm canceling the contract. I mean, they haven't actually said that, but people walk in and they go, I should have done this when I moved in.
Yeah.
Versus when I moved out. We see it all the time in people that make repairs and upgrades for the sale. And really, it's just having a professional that can see the spaces and can understand how things really functionally work. But as she talked about making spaces comfy, that's pivotal.
We also are consulting them on paint colors, if they need new carpet or not, landscaping suggestions, things like that. So it's the whole package. We're going to give them the whole package to get that top dollar for
Not
that
just the
property.
interior.
Right, not just the
The
interior.
whole shebang. Okay.
Exactly.
That's all in one day.
All in one day.
Incredible. I think that's really appealing, I think, because two of, I would say, the big issues with people are the time, for the inconvenience of, everything's got to be moved. When are we going to do this? When? And then the depersonalization. People have trouble with that sometimes emotionally, right? Because
It's tough.
you're telling them that, pictures of your kids and your grandkids here on the wall are not necessarily appealing to someone else. I'm like, what? But it's reality. People want to be able to see their own pictures of their own kids and grandkids on those walls, and you can't do that if your grandkids and kids are on the wall.
And I would say the third thing that people are very sensitive to is the cost. And so we have an arrangement where, as the agent, I pay for it. So I go in, and all of Lisa's time, all of her work, everything that she does is covered by me. So it not only is it so beneficial to the client based on the data that says that they're able to get more money and whatever it may be, but it doesn't cost them anything out of pocket.
Wow. It doesn't cost them a thing.
Great program.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
Yep.
An absolute no-brainer. I had no idea that I was looking at your ads, but for years, looking for rentals in San Diego, I saw the home manager posts on Craigslist.
Yeah.
I'm sure that people have seen them too. It's like this mansion, the price is super low. You think it's a scam. Like, you're like, this is a scam. There's no way that I could live in that mansion for $4,000 a month. But it's not a scam. You're the one who's been posting it. Tell us about this.
Well, Show Homes has been around for about 30 years. We've done home manager staging all 30 years, and it's newer to San Diego. We've been doing about 8 years here. What we're doing is looking for people who are super neat and tidy, super clean, and we're going to place them in a home that's for sale, that's vacant, that's staged. We beautifully stage it, and then we bring in basically human props. They're there to prepare the property for buyers. So it's basically going to be a showing on steroids. The showing is going to be so amazing because the home manager, before they leave the property, before the showing, is turning on the lights, turning on the music. They're having the home nice and warm and cozy on a cold day, or it's nice and cool and air conditioned on a hot day. And so when the buyer walks in, it's not only gorgeously staged, but all the lights are on, the music's on. It's this big production, and they're going to get more excited about the property. Plus, with a home manager living in the property, a buyer isn't walking in thinking, oh, okay, the house is vacant, so that owner is paying 2 mortgages. Let's see how desperate they are, right? So with a home manager living in the property, the closets are staged, the pantry's staged. It looks amazing. And they don't even go thinking that, they don't start thinking about whether the owner's living there or not living there and whether they should lowball the offer. So you're going to get higher offers from that as well.
Very, very interesting. But the real cool thing is the home manager. If you're a tidy enough person, I'm sure you guys get a lot of applications.
Yeah.
This is a really cool deal. But you get to live in this luxury home for a fraction of the price.
The home manager.
Dramatically lower.
Yeah, exactly. The advantage to the home manager that's living in the property is they're paying 30 to 50% of what normal rent would go for that property. So they can save thousands of dollars a month and live in a beautiful home, live in a mansion. And that's kind of their job, right, is to keep the house clean. They professionally clean the home regularly. They're getting the cobwebs out of the corners. They're watching out for issues that might come up on the property to let the owner know the sprinkler's broken. Or last week we had 2 properties that had leaks in the rain. We had so much rain, and those home managers caught it right away. We got somebody out to the property to address those issues. So the home manager is just really there to help take care of the property, and the advantage to them is they can live in a gorgeous home that they could normally not afford.
Yeah, I mean, some of these homes, should be, $10,000, $12,000 a month in rent. They're $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month as the home manager. You do have a little responsibility, but you have a fully staged home. I mean, it's furnished, staged, beautiful luxury home, and when that house sells, I understand that they can, as a home manager, you can stay on. You can move from there to another one.
Yeah, they may say, hey, I want to try La Jolla now. Hey, I haven't been to Carlsbad before. Let me try a house in Carlsbad. So we move them around from property to property as the houses sell. It's fun.
That sounds so much fun.
Well,
Are
and
you doing this, Steve? Are you
you know, when I was single, we talked about it. Talked about potentially, because especially as a realtor, I understand the whole world of prepping the house for sale and what needs to be done. And as a single man, I didn't have a lot of furniture, a lot of stuff to deal with. I will say, from the real estate side, what's wonderful about it is exactly as Lisa alluded to, is that if someone comes into a property and they see it's vacant, or even sometimes if it's staged and they recognize that this property is purely staged and that there's nobody living there, they think, well, I can come in more aggressive. Perhaps they've got property taxes, mortgage, HOA, whatever it may be. This seller is looking to get out. With the home manager, we completely eliminate that issue.
Yeah, and any advantage you can get in the negotiation process.
Yeah, and
is a good
Steve,
one.
you would have been a great home manager. It's too bad you didn't do that. And we are very, very particular about who we choose for the home managers.
would have made the cut, it
We
sounds
have
like.
you
Maybe.
would have. Yeah,
He's tidy.
we've had a lot of executives who are transferring from out of state and need someplace temporarily as well. But yeah, we're looking for those folks that are going to be super flexible and super neat and tidy and take care of the home.
Well, it's a fantastic program. You're doing great stuff, Lisa. Thank you so much for
Thanks.
coming on today.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it, Steve. Great idea bringing her on.
Thank you.
And of course, stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.